In this presentation, we will review marine fuel hoses and Shield's Marine Hose Solutions by Seastar Solutions, designed for the recreational boat owner. Unlike automotive and machinery fuel lines, recreational fuel hoses are used below deck in semi-closed compartments. Fuel vapors are heavier than air and become trapped inside the compartment, and if given a source of spark, can cause an explosion. Fuel, particularly alcohol-enhanced fuel, can permeate through the wall of ordinary fuel lines. Marine fuel hoses are designed around federal safety and environmental regulations and contain very low rates of permeation to help prevent the buildup of fuel vapors in the bilge. Some marine fuel hoses are designed to be fire retardant to help prevent the fuel system from feeding a fire aboard a vessel. Outboard fuel line's gray color keeps them cooler to help prevent vapor lock. And all marine fuel hoses resist ozone generated by electrical equipment and ultraviolet sunlight. The United States Coast Guard and Environmental Protection Agency have established regulations for pleasure craft fuel systems. Shield's hoses are designed for pleasure craft only. Commercial vessels have a different set of regulations. Safety standards, regulated by the United States Coast Guard, state that feed hoses holding 5 or more ounces of fuel and located in the engine compartment of a gasoline-powered boat must be fire retardant and resist an open flame for 2.5 minutes without leaking. Additionally, hoses should meet the standards of SAE, the Society of Automotive Engineers, J1527. The Environmental Protection Agency established new standards that limit the fuel permeation of a fuel feed hose to almost zero. These new regulations apply to all new primer bulb hoses and assemblies sold today in the United States, and also applies to inboard gasoline boats 2009 model year and later. Hose manufacturers must submit evidence the hose passes the permeation limits and annually obtain certification from the EPA. The state of California also issues certifications for outboard fuel hoses and primer bulbs that parallel the federal regulations. They are currently working on even stricter limits for the hoses. International customers should also be aware of the European Community ISO standards for fuel hose for recreational boaters in Europe. Most Shield's fuel hoses are EC certified and can be used by boat builders and boat repair facilities inside the EC. The American Boat and Yacht Council, the ABYC, and the National Marine Manufacturers Association work together to design safety standards and inspect boat manufacturers to certify that products are safe for consumer use. To be certified, a boat manufacturer must use fire-retardant SAE J1527 hose in all below-deck fuel systems. SAE J1527 was developed specifically for marine pleasure boat applications. Each hose must be printed with the specification number SAE J1527 and the designation of which type of hose it is. U.S. Coast Guard Type A hose is fire retardant and can be used above or below deck. U.S. Coast Guard Type B is not fire retardant and should be used above deck in a gas-powered boat. Diesel fuel is less volatile, so Type B hose can be used on small diesel systems. Larger diesel motors may require a heavy-duty wire reinforced hose. U.S. Coast Guard Type A1-15 or B1-15 indicates very low permeation and compliant with EPA standards. It can be used for all fuels, depending on whether the hose needs to be fire retardant. U.S. Coast Guard Type A1 is low permeation and fire retardant. The hose is not compliant with the new EPA standards, but can be used to replace Type A1 hose in a boat built before 2009. U.S. Coast Guard Type A2 is fire retardant medium permeation hose and designed only for long-term exposure to fuel vapors. It is designed for fuel tank vent and fuel fill applications only. U.S. Coast Guard Type B2 hose is non-fire retardant medium permeation, designed for the diesel tank vent and above-deck permanent tanks, such as those found on some pontoon boats. Shield's #1 hose for marine fuel feed applications is our Series 368 barrier layer fuel feed hose. Use Series 368 for feed lines from the fuel tank to the engine. It's suitable for all gasoline-ethanol blends up to 85% ethanol and all diesel and biodiesel blends. It features a nylon barrier inner layer to resist fuel blends and limit permeation. Series 368 meets the SAE J1527 Type A1-15 standards, is fire retardant, and USCG, CARB, ABYC, and EPA compliant. And it's available in 1/4 inch, 5/16 inch, 3/8 inch, and 1/2 inch inside diameters. Like Series 368, our Series 365 hose Fire a Call fuel feed line uses a nylon barrier to keep permeation very low. With the barrier sandwiched between 2 layers of NBR rubber, it allows easier coupling insertion. Series 365 also features a larger outside diameter, making it more resistant to kinking in a bend. Use Series 365 for feed lines from the fuel tank to the engine. It is suitable for all blends of gasoline-ethanol up to 85% ethanol, and for all diesel and biodiesel blends. Series 365 meets SAE J1527 Type A1-15, is fire retardant, and USCG, EPA, ABYC, and CARB compliant. It is available in 3/8 inch and 1/2 inch inside diameters. Since fuel vapors do not permeate as aggressively as liquid fuel, fuel vent and fill hoses are allowed higher permeation rates when tested with liquid fuel. Use Shield Series 369 Fire a Call fuel vent hose for a fuel tank vent below deck. Series 369 meets SAE J1527 Type A2 specifications. It is fire retardant and U.S. Coast Guard and ABYC compliant. EPA and CARB standards do not apply to the fuel vent hose. Series 369 can be used in gasoline or diesel fuel systems. It is available in 5/8 inch ID only. Shield's Silverado 2000 Series 315 fuel vent hose is used for fuel vent in diesel application or above-deck fuel tanks, such as those found on some pontoon boats. Series 315 meets SAE J1527 Type B2. It is not fire retardant. It complies with U.S. Coast Guard standards and is available in 5/8 inch ID only. Like fuel vent hoses, fuel fill hoses are not normally full of liquid fuel and are allowed higher permeation rates. Shield Series 350 and 355 fuel fill hoses fabric and wire reinforcing allows bends without kinking. These hoses meet SAE J1527 Type A2. They can be used in all pleasure boat systems for fuel tank fill. All are U.S. Coast Guard and ABYC compliant. Fuel fill hoses are fuel transfer hose, and fuel should not be stored in the fuel fill hose. Storage of fuel in the fill can damage the hose and cause potential danger as the rate of fuel permeation could be unsafe. All fuel fill systems should be designed to be self-draining after the fuel tank has reached its rated capacity. The Silverado 4000 Series 337 is our premier outboard fuel feed line. Silverado 4000 uses a THV barrier layer to keep permeation very low. It features the look and feel of a rubber fuel line and is very flexible and easy to assemble with a primer bulb. Silverado 4000 meets SAE J1527 Type B1-15. It is EPA, CARB, EC, and ABYC compliant. It is not fire retardant. Silverado 4000 is excellent for all gasoline-ethanol blends with or without TCW3. Its gray color helps keep the fuel cooler in direct sunlight to resist fuel evaporation and vapor lock. Silverado 4000 is available in 5/16 inch and 3/8 inch inside diameter. Silverado 4000 is also used in all EPA-compliant Sierra primer bulb assemblies. All Sierra parts and hoses are guaranteed to be free of manufacturing defects for the life of the product. Normal wear and tear is not a manufacturing defect. Professional installers can claim labor to replace a defective product. Federal law requires all very low permeation fuel system components to maintain the very low permeation levels for a minimum of 2 years for date of entering service. See the Sierra catalog for details.